Hello and welcome. This is day 24 out of 30 building and launching an AI app in public. Now, today's going to be a little bit different to the others because I do not have much time. I'm meeting a bunch of AI creators and content creators up in London in not long. So I'm gonna make this a little bit shorter, probably half an hour rather than a full hour, so that I can get out and be there on time. So I hope you'll excuse me for that. And because of that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm not going to throw myself into a massively technical task, because I know that I will hit errors and then I will get stuck fixing those errors and then I'm going to be late. So I'm going to flex, and what I'm going to do is put together the kind of front end, the landing page, getting things ready for the beta test launch, which will be on Saturday. And if you want to get an invite to the beta test, make sure that you are signed up to the newsletter. It's totally free, and the link is going to be in my bio. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to tidy up this front page. Well, the problem is we have two front pages at the moment, and the functionality is kind of split between them, and we need to fix that because that's a bit of a legacy from the previous ones. And what I could do, probably overkill for now, but I could create a sales page as well. So let's talk to Lovable. Good morning, Lovable. I would like to adjust the front page, the home page, so that we need to make a good first impression when people arrive, but we also need to get them into the tool ASAP. We need them to create an account, but ideally, I'd like them to have to create their account after the ideas have been generated. So I want them to be able to kind of test even without creating an account. So the flow will be, they'll come to the homepage, they will see the ability to add a video or text. That will then generate the lead magnet ideas for them. But then for them to move on to the next stage, they need to create an account. They don't need to add their Google authentication, but they do need to create an account. So we're going to have to open up the ability to generate without an account, which currently I don't think we have. Oops, I need to put in 100 words here. Oh, it's going to be tricky. And then on the idea generated page, the one that has the 3 ideas, if they're not logged in, we need to move them through that flow and then have those lead magnets created. So can we discuss the best ways to do that, because I'm blanking a little bit. So let's talk about best practices. So I don't know the best way to do this, as you can probably tell from that confused message. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Lovable, and therefore Claude, which is being used underneath Lovable, into chat mode, and then that allows me to have a discussion with it. The other thing I could do is I could open up Claude and go over to Claude and run this, kind of say, hey, this is what I'm doing. What are the kind of flows I can use here? But I'm just going to do it inside of Lovable for speed at the moment. Good morning, I love this flow. So I kind of want it to be less agreeable. I want it to tell me what happens. So the user arrives at the home page, sees content input selector, submits URL, authentication is checked immediately. If not authenticated, shows auth. So yeah, I'd kind of like them to be able to generate the ideas at least, and I will have to pay for that. I will have to pay 0.001 cent or whatever it is. That's fine. So try before you buy. Recommended approach, try before you buy. Option 1, anonymous generation with session storage recommended. So flow, user lands on the homepage, can immediately input content, no auth check. Generate ideas without calling the authenticated edge function, awesome. Store the raw content plus generated ideas in browser's session storage, so it would be locally with the user. Show results page with 3 ideas, cool. When user clicks generate on a card, check auth. If not authenticated, show sign up / login mode, or if authenticated, process, etc, etc. That is exactly what I want to do. Cons, ideas won't be as personalized. True. So you can't use the user profile data for anonymous users. That is fine. once we get them in, we'll have them create it. Can't store and retrieve their ideas later unless they create an account. That is fine. So let's go ahead and do that. Free trial credits. We are doing free trial credits as well. So, okay, that looks good. I'd like to do the anonymous generation with session storage. That looks like the way to go, because there's zero friction on the first impression. On the first page, we kind of need the different generators. So we need the text, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So we need to pull them forward onto the first page, please, so they can toggle between them and enter the specific text. I would also like to limit the ability an anonymous user can do. Can we do this based on their IP address? Basically, I don't want somebody to return or to use a bot to continuously generate ideas. So I'd like to somehow limit the ability for an anonymous user, so they can create one idea like this, no problem, and then they need to create an account. Otherwise, yes, that sounds good. So I'm going to continue in chat mode. Good morning, TikTok. TikTok, you'll be able to see a lot better on YouTube. John Nunez, will you make it into an actual SaaS or just proof of concept? It depends. So, I mean, every actual SaaS begins as a proof of concept. So what I have, which is my advantage, is I've got an audience. So I have an audience of about 250,000 people across my social media and newsletter, blanking out there. So this means I can actually test it out. I can build something, I can get it out to that audience and see whether there's a market for it. That is a huge luxury that a lot of people don't have. So in answer to your question, I will turn it into a SaaS and I will generate revenue from it if the market wants it. I'm not going to slam my head against the wall trying to make people want it if they don't. But if I launch it with the beta test, which I'm doing this weekend, and then next week launching it more widely, and people say, hey, this is cool, I actually want to use this, then I will convert it into a proper SaaS. And at that point, I'll either do it myself, or I'll hire somebody, or I'll find somebody who wants to take on the project, and then we split the revenues. So it depends. If the market wants it, I'll develop it. If the market doesn't want it, then it's a fun project. So here we go, implementation plan. So I have a clear picture of the current implementation. Let me create a comprehensive plan. So it's going to move the content selected to the home page. Yes, please. I need to not take it away from the dashboard. Okay, some clarifying points. When you move the multi-content selector to the home page, do not remove it from the dashboard. Do not touch the implementation on the dashboard. Just replicate it onto the home page. Thank you. Okay, and the rest looks fine. Yep, the rest looks fine. Can you work through this step by step, giving me, telling me what I need to check to make sure that it has worked along each step? Thank you. Because it's a relatively long task. It has put together 9 steps. Lovable and Claude's tendency will be like, okay, I'll just do it in one. It might work, it might not work. So I'm just going to break it down a bit and test along the way. So it is now implementing. Awesome. Let's come over to questions. This will be a shorter live today because I have lots of appointments today. I say appointment. One of them is a party at Google. So it still counts. With, I don't know if there's anyone here from the UK, but Dick and Dom. I like the compares, which is very bizarre, but I'm looking forward to it. Dick and Dom, for anyone who's not from the UK, were like children's, I don't want to say children's entertainers. They used to host shows on children's TV. So that's going to be very weird because I grew up watching their shows. But they are hosting this party at Google. And the theme of the party, I think, is DIY, do it yourself. So handiwork at home, but using Google Gemini to help you do the tasks. So I think it's going to be games themed around DIY, and you use Gemini's like video mode and Gemini's text mode to work out how to do the task, stuff like that. It sounds like a lot of fun. I'll see if they'll let me film, and if they do, I shall report back. But then I probably shouldn't drink. It's the decisions, the choices. Right, step 1 complete. Okay, it entirely ignored me, and it is just continuing to do everything itself. I kind of trust Sonnet 4.5, the new Sonnet, so I'm going to let it do that, and then tell it off if it goes horribly wrong. Anyway, the reason I was talking about the party is I will not be able to do this for the full hour. I'm going to do half an hour, so we've got about 20 minutes left. So for that reason, what we're doing is nothing overly technical, he says, as the page gets rewritten. We're not doing anything technical because I don't want to go down a rabbit hole of technical details, but instead we are changing the front end, the homepage, to make it more accessible for people to come and test out the idea. It's taken a while. But yes, I have a lunch appointment in about 2 hours from now, which is why I can't stay around for too long. It's a shame because today, so Lovable are doing this, let me put it up, they're doing not really a competition, a challenge, a 7-day build challenge, and the one they're doing today, October the 2nd, is, yeah, here we go, create a video game. So a puzzle game, mini arcade experience, or a brand new game mechanic, create something fun and interactive. Really want to do that, so I'm going to have to do that on my own time. I mean, obviously it's my own time anyway, but I'm going to have to go out of my way to think of something. But these are challenges that they're doing all of this week and this weekend, where you can build something and then you share it on social media, and Lovable will give it some love. They'll post it and retweet it, etc. So you can get some eyeballs on what you built. So it's a fun way to do it. Well, this is taking a while. Any questions? Have people here used Sora 2? Because I've been playing around with it and it's pretty good. It's good fun. I think they've opened it up a bit more, so I'm not sure if you need an invite code anymore. I think it's for all people who have a pro account. Oh, what's this? Sora app. Here we go. Sora 2 is available on iOS, not available on Android. We're slowly enabling access. I thought I saw something about they had opened it up for every pro account, but that might be wrong. Also, big warning, and I need to do a video on this. If you create a Sora account, you cannot delete your Sora account without also deleting your ChatGPT account. And that includes deleting your ChatGPT API account. So if you've built anything using the API, you cannot delete your Sora account because it will break everything that you've built. So that's a huge PSA and a big warning in terms of setting up a Sora account. So if you wanted to set one up, play around with it, but you're worried about them having your kind of data and having your face, if you scan your face in and your voice, and you were planning on deleting it, just be very aware of that. Once you download Sora, you can't go back. Okay, this is taking a very long time. So this is the major step, to be fair. Step 3, updating the homepage to support anonymous generation. So this is the major core work. I'm a little bit worried that I can't see what it's doing in here, because it's doing quite a lot. And there's always the concern that, oh, it's got in a loop, or it's the vibe coding tools don't get in loops as much, but they used to. There we go, it finished. Awesome. Bolt, which I'm not using at the moment, I'm using Lovable, but bolt.new, which is another vibe coding app. They've introduced Bolt v2, and it has no error loops and no setup nightmares. So apparently they've cracked the error loops and the kind of bug whack-a-mole. I need to try it out because that's a huge claim, but if they have fixed that, then that is one of the main problems with vibe coding has been dealt with. Obviously we need to test it out and see if that's actually true, but if they have got anywhere close to that, that's very exciting. So step 1, database created for rate limiting. Go to Superbase. Okay, I don't need to check that for now. Anonymous edge function, awesome. So home page updated with multi-content selector. Okay, so what we're going to do to test it is I'm going to create an anonymous session and go and have a look and see if we can generate. And it will probably not work, but that's fine. I might have a problem that if I continue to access it from the same, bit of an ugly page, but yes, that does work. We just need to make that less ugly. Okay, so this is an anonymous incognito. Can you see it on stream? Yeah, you can. This is an incognito. I'm logged out. I'm not signed in, so we would do it with, I guess, TikTok. Let's grab this one. That's me on an old camera. The problem with all these new cameras is that, I mean, you can't see it so much on TikTok, but on YouTube in particular, it's 4K, so I look a lot older. The older cameras, there we go, it didn't work. The older cameras kind of blur me and smudge me, so I can look younger. Right, so it did not work, but I'm not overly surprised about that. Okay, the anonymous generation did not work. Here are the Chrome console errors. So what I've just done, for those who didn't see what I did, I right-clicked on Chrome. This is in the incognito browser. Right-click, then go to inspect here. That brings up this panel at the bottom, which is pretty scary looking. It's got lots of HTML here. But then I go to console, which is the second tab. And then I look for the ones that are marked in red. These are the errors. Something has gone wrong. I can also tell something's gone wrong because they appear here on the right hand side. I don't think you see on TikTok, but there's a red circle with an X in it saying 3, which is basically, hey, there's been 3 errors. So that I come in here, grab them out, take them over to Lovable and say, this is what's going wrong. You can also right click and copy the whole console, but that brings a whole bunch of other information, which we don't necessarily need. So by giving that console error code back to Lovable, it now knows what's going wrong, or hopefully it knows what's going wrong. It can diagnose the issue and therefore it can apply a fix, theoretically. Because what a lot of people will do with vibe coding is they'll just say it didn't work, and that doesn't give enough information to the AI to work out why it didn't work, and therefore it's just going to take shots in the dark. So I see the issue. The edge function is trying to read dum 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 dum, but the transcript is undefined. Now, I'm a little worried that that was caused by the TikTok generator not working. Let's do it with which one do we know is working? Because we always need to know. We always need to. Oh, let me get YouTube from a logged in account. Sometimes something else will be broken, which will cause us to think a problem is something that is not. Okay, we're going to go use YouTube, because I'm pretty sure the YouTube one's working. Okay, that also broke. So this is error from YouTube generation. So it's likely to be another issue, not specific to TikTok, more general. And the way I'm going to test that is I'm going to go in as a logged in user, somebody who's actually logged in, and make sure it's working on the inside. And if it's working on the inside, that means it's something to do with my anonymous. Oh God, do a TikTok them. Or everything's just broken, which is also an option. No, there we go. Invalid. What is going on? TikTok. Okay, I think that it might have broken some stuff, which is the last thing I need. Because as I said, this is a shorter stream. Oh no, are we working? It's kind of my fault. There we go. So this created a lead magnet. Social media is selling your voice. Yes, that's the right content. So it's working outside. So let me confirm that. Now that I know that that particular video is working when I'm logged in, I'm going to try it again. Logged out. Oh, something went wrong. Okay. So it's to do with this anonymous content. TikTok console error. When logged in, the videos process to lead magnets ideas correctly. So basically helping it to pinpoint. So it's got nothing to do with the actual functionality and the ability to grab those transcripts. That's working as long as I'm logged in. What I'm trying to do is allow that when I'm logged out, so an anonymous user can check it. And it was saying previously, oh, it's to do with the core functionality. It's got nothing to do with the anonymous part. And I'm saying, no, it is to do with the anonymous part. There we go. So it's found a JWT authentication. So I had to nudge it back onto track because it started to going a different direction, and then I provided with it with some more context in order to show that no, that's not the problem that we're dealing with right now. This is something else. And as soon as I did that, it's like, oh yeah, I got it. I see the issue. So now it has supposedly fixed it. It's also created a security error, but we'll deal with that later. So on my side, what I should do, and I'll tidy this up because this currently looks crap. Let's see if it's a bit better. Nope, still crap. But we get the functionality working first before we worry about the design, because if we have to change the functionality and we've done all the pretty design, then we need to reconform the design. So I'm going to do that last. So that should have published and updated. Yep. So now in TikTok, let's have a go. There's not a TikTok address, so I need. So I'm going to grab this video of myself. I don't know why it's in Spanish. Go to TikTok, generate lead magnets. This is anonymous. Something went wrong. Let's see if it's the same error. So I've got the same 3 errors. These look like the same 3 errors to me. What I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do it one more time just in case it was cached in the incognito window. I don't think it was, but I just want to remove the possibility. Pause. Having multiple screens would be useful at this point. There we go. This is the anonymous generator. Okay, so no, that is not working. So again, I go to console, I find out what the issue is. Because it keeps rushing forward, I'm going to say did not work. Here is the error. Please give me 3 possible reasons for this. Don't rush to implement. So I'm just getting it to kind of take a step back and have a think about this, and then it should tell me which is the most likely, and then we go from there. Because otherwise vibe coding tools will immediately try to fix things all the time. But now it is actually looking in the logs and taking a bit more time. Because previously I gave it the information, it's like, okay, cool, I know what it is, and it didn't, it got it wrong. So now it's saying, now I can see the issue clearly. Again, we don't necessarily trust it. It's a parameter mismatch. Okay, well that's huge. That would definitely make it not work. But the generate lead magnet is anonymous. So we have TikTok URL and, oh, I see. Okay. So the tool that I use, Apify, to grab the transcript from TikTok is expecting a parameter, basically a bit of information, which is TikTok URL, and that's going to be https www.tiktok my username / the video ID. But my current tool is sending something called video URL instead of TikTok URL. So because there's a mismatch, Apify, which is looking for TikTok URL, is receiving nothing, so it doesn't know what to do. So it's very likely that if that is the case, yep, and then it's found the same problem across them all. Okay, so it's actually found three problems, and these are all issues. And these are things that it should have dealt with when it first created this new anonymous generator, because I specifically said you don't need a user ID, you don't need to be logged in. So this is a bit messy. This could be in part though because I said, hey, just go and grab the generators from the dashboard, which is for when you're logged in, and pull them onto the front page. So I think it's pulled over, well, it's obviously pulled over things like the need for the user ID and then all of the parameters like TikTok URL. Okay, yes, these all need to be fixed. These should have been done when we brought it outside for anonymous usage, but can you go ahead and fix those so that we can anonymously generate from the homepage without creating an account? Thank you. King Yellow, non-stop vibe coding, love it. Good day, mate. Yeah, so I do a stream every day. I aim for 1 hour a day. Today, as I mentioned, is going to be shorter, half an hour, which we are closely approaching because I have lots of appointments. But I wanted to continue. I think it's good just to push forward a little bit every day, even if it's not working. Let's see if this works. Otherwise, I might need to put a pin in it and come back. I have a little note, a sticky note on my desktop, which has all of the pending fixes. Rather, probably a better way to put it than all the bugs and errors that the vibe coding tool has created. I must say though, the Sonnet 4.5 model, the one that's being used now, is better. It is a really good model. So when I move on, so I've got next week, I'll be finishing this project up next week, and then I'll be moving on to a new project. I was going to say an October project, but it's not really, is it? I need to decide what I'm building it in. I'm interested in trying out Bolt because of this new Bolt v2. So that's one option. But there's also Replete. I don't actually know how to say it. Is it Replit or Replete? Which is a great tool. Is a bit more... is a bit heavier. So Lovable and Bolt are more, I don't want to say lightweight, that's not correct, but they're a bit more focused on generating web apps, whereas Replete can create a lot more. It can do applications for phones, for example. So that could be fun, but it's less. I mean, gosh, you can see from their marketing, it's more for enterprise. It's more for kind of higher end stuff. So I think between Bolt and Replete, or we could go to Cursor, which Cursor is probably my favorite tool, the one that I like to use for my own projects. But it is a step up in complexity from these tools. It's still vibe coding, but it has a complete IDE, a development environment, so it looks terrifying. And the whole point of these streams is to kind of show, hey, anyone can do this. So if I start using Claude Code and Cursor and those kind of tools, it's just more likely to put people off. Right, it says it's fixed. This is a bit weird. It says it's fixed anonymous generation, now extracts transcripts directly without. So it's saying it's done it. I do not know if that's true. The fact that it thought for 18 seconds and made 2 quick edits doesn't give me any hope. But we shall have a look. Let's kill this. No, we need. Okay, new incognito window. Grab the video. Come over to here. Whoop. It's going to be annoying because I don't think it's going to work. Okay. Normally it would crash out by now. Okay. I mean, it crashed, but that's a different crash. Successfully, and alright, so apparently it's worked. What I need to do is I need to open up my Appify to see if that actually ran. What's the date today? The 2nd of October. This is it. Yes. So it scraped in the background and it pulled the transcript. The transcript is here. So it did work anonymously. Awesome. Okay. But obviously that is not the result we want to see. However, that is a form of progress because it's something different. And when it's something different, that gives us another kind of vector to angle in at. So I think what's happening is the process is happening, it's just not rendering the final result, probably to do with the lack of user ID. Okay, that's getting us somewhere. The URL was successfully sent to Appify, and the transcript created. However, the page loaded for a moment, then went white/blank. Console errors are. Whoop. That should be enough. I think it's just a rendering issue where cannot read properties of undefined. Cannot read properties of undefined. It's a bit vague. Oh, just lost it. Hey man, why are you wasting credits on Lovable? Why don't you use Firebase or Gemini or Kimi? Those are all very different things. Do you mean... Okay, I'm using Lovable because it is accessible to people, and I want to show everyone at home that they can use vibe coding tools and they can work this out. I mean, Gemini is a model. Firebase is a backend. So those are all just different tools. I do use Cursor and I use Claude Code, which are other forms of vibe coding tools, but at a higher level, I suppose. The reason I'm not using them in the stream is because we want to show people that they can do it. So if they're an entrepreneur or somebody who has an idea, but they've never known how to make a piece of software, now they can, which is really, really exciting when it comes to building a business, basically. So there we go. The issue is lead magnets is undefined in the response. Let me add defensive checks and log on what's being returned. So you said use Gemini. I do use Gemini and Cursor sometimes. I actually find Sonnet to be better. Sonnet 4.5. So Lovable is using Sonnet 4.5. Okay, so it has added some debugging. So we're going to see what the debugging shows us. Oops, daisy. But that is the reason for not using those other tools, is I'm trying to reduce the barriers to entry as much as possible. Okay, let's see what's happening here. So I'm still expecting this to fail, but it's added some more logging, so we should see some additional stuff here. But we'll find out. So user email is undefined. Okay, so it still breaks, but it should have this. There we go. So it actually created the lead magnets. I can see the title, the description. So it's got the information, it's just not rendering them. Yeah, it's got the response data. So this is the response data from Apify. It's got the thumbnail, it's got absolutely everything. It's just not able to map it and render it on the page for some reason. But now we know that because we have that additional information to actually copy. Yes, here we go. So that should be sufficient for it to get this fixed. So someone who does not have experience with coding anything can do this. Yes, Janice. What I'm doing today is a bit fiddly, but that's because I've been building this for the last 23 days. I kind of want to show you actually. Can I open a second Lovable? Can I work on two at the same time? So Lovable, when you first start it, looks like this. It looks like ChatGPT. And you're able to basically put your idea into it. So I could say, hey, can you make me a new version of Sudoku which uses letters of the alphabet or whatever? That's a stupid answer. A stupid example. I mean, somebody can give me an example and I can throw it in here if you want, and we can create a basic version. But you talk to it using natural language. You can actually use a microphone and talk to it and say, hey, this is what I'd like to build, and it will create software for you. It's not going to be one prompt. You're still going to have to work back and forward with it, but it does allow non-technical people to create applications and to create software, which is super exciting, because there are so many people. Oops, daisy. Oh dear, have I broken it? There are so many people who have ideas, great ideas, but they can only make the idea by learning how to code or hiring a coder. It's going to cost them tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands, depending on the size of the project, or by finding a technical CTO, a technical co-founder who's going to work on the project with them. Those are kind of your three options. Now you can at least put together a proof of concept, a minimum viability product, and show people, hey, this is what I'm building, this is what I want to create. You can also take it out to market, and if people are like, oh wow, this is really useful, that gives you the proof that there's a market for it, that people want this. Then you can take that to investors, you can take it to tech co-founders, or you can also learn how to do the more technical things yourself, because vibe coding acts as a really good gateway to building, getting addicted to building, and then when you hit problems, you're fixing those problems and learning the technical fixes based on what you're trying to build, rather than abstractly learning about code. So I think it's one of the most exciting technological advances we've had in the last decade. It's really cool if you are an entrepreneur or a business owner. That's me, lots of ideas, no idea how to implement. So what I would say, literally go to ChatGPT or go to Claude and say, hey, this is my idea, this is what I want to build. I'm going to build it in Lovable. Please can you write out a prompt, a set of instructions I can take to Lovable in order to build this. So ChatGPT or Claude will help you write the brief, and then you take that brief over to Lovable, copy and paste it in, and it will get to work. And it's free. to do the initial. You can just put something in here. I don't think you even need to create an account to do so. It will just generate for you, and you can play around with it. So I highly recommend trying it. Lovable is not the only one. There's also Bolt, there is Replete, there is V0, etc. There's a whole bunch of them. It's just this month I'm using Lovable. Okay, the data is coming through perfectly, yes. But the API, okay. So found it. So this is a problem. It's trying to access key underscore points, but the API returns key points, camel case, so the capital P. And because there's a mismatch, the code is not able to talk to, is not able to sort that out, because code is very literal. We can look at those two things and be like, oh, well, it's basically the same. What's the problem? But for code, those are two entirely different things. So let's see if that works. Incognito, because we're testing an anonymous login. Grab that video. And it's a TikTok video, right? Yep. See how that goes. And I do need to, unfortunately, finish up the stream, which was meant to be half an hour, and we're now at 45 minutes almost. So if this works, that would be really great. Please, the gods of Claude and Lovable. The reason why we're doing all of, there we go, thank you. The reason we're doing all of this is it will allow an anonymous user to see, oh, okay, this is what the application can do. So I mean, this is ugly, sign up for access. We need to change what it looks like, but the functionality is there. And then they'd have to sign up to generate the actual lead magnet. So let's click it. I don't think, oh, it might actually work. I'll test all of that tomorrow though. So the idea is they can plug in their YouTube video, their TikTok video, Instagram video, and for free it will generate, hey, here are a couple of lead magnets ideas, and then it's, would you like to generate your lead magnet idea, and then would you like to generate the landing page for that lead magnet idea. So I need to kind of preview, I need to sell the sizzle so they get it, and then they will sign up, they'll get free credits. So what I need to do here, this is marketing now, is say free sign up to generate, because they'll be able to generate it for free, they don't need to pay, and then I give them a certain number of credits which allow them to play around. So it's about reducing the friction and getting them into the application, but also showing them what it does. So we are on our way. That's an anonymous generation, which is really cool. We just need to work out the rest of it, make sure that works with all of the different lead magnet generators, and then fix the flow from free user to trial user. So they won't need a credit card or anything, but they need to give their email address, and then they'll be able to save their lead magnets, get free credits, etc. And then from there, the next step will be, okay, you've been using this, is this useful, do you want to pay? Step by step though. Awesome, but we got that done. Now, I'm sorry, but I do need to cut the stream short because I have some appointments today. But thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully not hungover. I don't think Google parties are very wild. I don't think so. We'll see. Awesome. Thank you guys, and see you tomorrow.